What's up, guys? Studfit here. We now have episode 25 of Kart Talk. Can't believe we're 25 episodes into this, coming up on a one full year. Our 26th episode will be a one full year of doing Kart Talk. How cool is that? One member of our cast that you might have seen over those last 25 episodes, Karim the Dream. Welcome back, man. It's been a while.
Dude, it's been far too long. It's an absolute pleasure to be back with you guys and our fellow guests. I've missed this an awful lot. I'm very happy to be here. I'm very excited for the next couple of hours.
Yeah, and since you've been here, you've won a couple top 10 badges there. What's
Three,
that
mate.
experience been like?
Three, not two, three. Let's get
Three.
that right. Yeah. What's that been like? It's equal measures of pain and pleasure. It's I think we'll get in. Maybe we'll get into it at some point. It's a funny thing. It's a funny one. I don't how some people do it regularly. I don't know, but it was a big thing to tick off my bucket list. So very very pleased about that. Yeah.
Nice, man. Well, we have a good icebreaker. In fact, the icebreaker comes from Deedle. And then, as after you answer your question, I'll get to the rest of the cast. But the rest of the cast are brand new members to the Kart Talk series. But this question comes from Deedle. You're out to dinner at a new place, and everything on the menu appears to have freakishly large bananas in it. Joining you at the table is your favorite giant banana driver. Which dish and which person or company would make this evening a night to remember? Who you got, Kareem? And what dish?
Well, I'm gonna go with the banana split. I love bananas. I love ice cream. Frankly, I may well have stolen that of somebody else because that was the first thing that came to mind. A banana split, absolutely. And I'm gonna go
Banana
with
split.
Chef Rosalina. Absolutely. I love giant banana, and I've never invested in it. Yellow pit to crow toad. He doesn't count. But I've decided to go for it this tour with Chef Rosalina. And let's be honest, she is the hottest character in Mario Kart Tour. So easy choice. Fabulous conversation.
Yeah, I
Great.
think I'd put Pauline in the mix, but yeah, Rosalina is definitely
That's
could
true.
could, uh,
That's
could
true.
spice things up for sure, especially as a chef. Good icebreaker there, Kareem. We'll get to Firestorm. Welcome, buddy. It's been a
Hey,
while. We actually grabbed dinner together just a couple months ago. Glad to have you on. Tell the viewers here where you're calling from and how you got started in the game, and then jump into the icebreaker.
yeah. I'm Firestorm, and thanks for having me on, man. This is super fun. Just cool to be with you guys and talk Mario Kart. And I'm a day one player. Big Mario Kart fan. Been playing Mario Kart since. I mean, I think I really got it in the N64 days. So those are probably my favorite courses and stuff that pop up. But um, got a little bit more serious Gold Pass Plus probably about a year and a half in, and started really investing in the game. And I hail from Florida, Orlando, Florida. So I've met several Mario Karters. I just missed Jack even about a month ago, just busy life. But I mean, it's a cool place just because a lot of people are coming to Orlando, Florida, Disney, the whole shebang. Um, but I'm currently in Arkansas in the middle of the US right now. So that's where I'm at. Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I laughed really hard. It's great icebreaker, Edidle. I honestly think it was pretty easy. I immediately just thought I would be with Mario Sunshine because that dude just looks like he knows how to party, knows how to have a good time. Like I think hanging out with old Mario Sunshine, we'd have a good time, and I'd probably in honor of Bangkok coming along. Some I don't remember if stuff it remembers, but my wife grew up in Thailand, so I'm pretty pumped about
Wow.
the new tour.
Oh,
And so in honor of that, I would actually like to have it'd probably be a Thai restaurant with some like plantains. Thailand has some really good
Ooh.
plantains, and maybe even some mango and sticky rice to go alongside that, like a traditional Thai dessert. So that would be mine.
Yeah, so plantains, are they a form of banana? I'm not as familiar with plantains as much.
Yeah, they're kind of like, I mean, there's several different types, but the ones in Thailand are these little, kind of almost these mini bananas almost, and they fry them up and they like kind of caramelize them, and then they put sweet coconut milk over them. It's very good if you haven't had them. I'll just throw that out there.
Very nice. Well, we might have some more questions about Thailand as the rest of the episode goes along. You mentioned Jack. Welcome, Jack. Welcome to the episode. Tell the viewers at home, if they don't know your YouTube channel, which is JacktheDarkBlueYoshi. Definitely check out, subscribe. We'll put a link in the description. But tell the viewers how you got started in Mario Kart Tour and a little bit about yourself and where you're calling from.
It's an honor to be here, Studfit. Thank you for having me. JacktheDarkBlueYoshi. I am also from Florida, but I'm about 2 hours northwest from Firestorm. I live near Gainesville and Ocala. And when I first started Mario Kart Tour, I first thought I'd play when it first came out, but later I found out I was a few months late, so I wasn't able to, so I didn't make it. But anyway, I love Mario Kart Tour is an amazing game. Mario Kart ever since Super Mario Kart Tour. And as far as dinner-wise, it will be a toss-up between a banana split and a banana bread. And it'll either be Sunshine Mario or Donkey Kong.
Nice. Those are some good options. Well, good. So it sounds like for those who hadn't who are interested in checking out Jack's channel, definitely check him out. We'll hear a lot about him as the episode goes along. And then welcome BobLoblob. How's it going,
Hello.
man? Welcome.
Good. How are you? Can you say that one more time?
BobLoblob.
There you go.
Man.
It's a fun name. I have to ask.
I love that name so
What's
much.
the origin of the name?
You don't know?
So I'm a bit of a joker, and I don't know. I came up with this name. I stole it from Arrested Development, which is
good.
probably one of the best comedy TV shows of all time, right? So they had this character that was a lawyer that was like in the show for maybe a few seconds, but he was BobLoblob, and he had a law blog, and he lobbed law bombs, and it was just like this like ridiculous combination of words, and I thought it was funny.
So good.
Is
Banana stand,
real
man.
name
Money's in
Bob?
the banana stand.
Yeah, exactly. My real name is not Bob. No.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know. You don't have to tell us your full name. I was just curious if there was some like origin that was actually tied to your real self.
No, I just thought it was a funny name, and it's like the most anonymous name ever, right? Like BobLoblob. Okay, sure.
Very cool. Well, tell us, those viewers at home, where you're calling from, how you got started in Mario Kart Tour, and then take a stab at the icebreaker.
All right. So I started in Mario Kart Tour, I think 3 or 4 tours into the game. I loved Mario Kart N64. I think that was the only Mario Kart that I consistently played. I used to have neighborhood friends growing up. We'd play in the basement and 4-player battle mode versus whatever. So I love Mario Kart 64. I never got into the GameCube or Wii versions. I played the SNES a little bit, but I saw this come up, I think probably on the App Store, sales pitch or whatever. Got it, and I was like, oh, this game is great. Like, oh man, I love this game. I think I held out on Gold Pass for 1 tour, and then I was in after that. I can't remember what tour it was. It was like the 2nd or 3rd tour. So
Awesome, man. And I think we mostly met each other through the Bama Gerb server. So you pretty data driven in your strategies.
Yeah. I mean, I for a living, I basically use Excel all day, every day is what I tell people. So yeah, I like looking at data. I like analyzing data, and it's a great tool. And the people there are fun. So shout out to the Donnies.
The Donnies. Yeah, I was gonna say, is there like a rivalry between Excel sheets and Google Sheets? Like, is there? You gotta know in the community, you don't want to send the wrong sheet.
Yeah, no, I mean they're basically the same. I like Excel is a little bit like less, they're a little more powerful, but no, they're both great.
All right, cool. So you want to take a stab at the icebreaker?
All right, so I've been thinking about this, and so the only place that I really eat bananas I really love bananas on a breakfast cereal, like a Wheaties. So I think that's probably what I would do. But as for company, so we know in America, we celebrate Independence Day, and part of Independence Day is the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. So my guest of honor for the giant banana dinner is going to be Joey Chestnut.
Ah, okay. All right. All right.
So I think that'd be a fun dinner.
That would be a fun dinner. It would be odd to see if he goes, full chestnut style zone, whatever he might like, where he just starts eating everything in sight. You might have to hold back your food from him. Well, good, awesome, a good answer there. We also got SMBros. Last but not least, man, it's been fun hanging out in the server. You've been joining our multiplayer for quite some time, and love to have you on. Tell us a little bit about where you're calling from and how you got started in Mario Kart Tour.
Sure thing. I'm calling from the old Dominion State, from the county of Louisa, and my Mario Kart Tour career started all the way back at launch, which I actually found out about Tour pretty early. And since I've been playing Mario Kart since Double Dash, I've been right there that it would be, and I've been doing a bit of on-off, with the gold pass, but been like, been trying to keep it to that. If there's ever any good goodies, I'm just going all in. And as far as the icebreaker goes, going with what BobLoblob said about Independence Day with the banana split, that would be my main bananas. And I would have to go with Sunshine Mario and Chef Rosalina.
Double date. I like it, man. That's the way to go. I think you're playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. I like it, man. Well, good. We got a lot to get to this episode. We are currently in the Metropolitan Tour. We're wrapping that up, and we've had some crazy news hit with the brand new Bangkok Tour and some hints at some me suits that we'll probably get into throughout the conversation today. But let's start on the we actually have probably the most questions we've ever had submitted from our server. Some awesome questions. I think Tim Torch went above and beyond and I think gave us about 12 awesome questions. So we got a lot. When I say we got a lot to get into, we literally have a lot to get into. But let's start first in the Metropolitan Tour. Another question. We'll start from E. Deedle. Do you anticipate the new drivers, carts, and gliders from the Metro Tour having the same long-term value as the Mark IIs, the B-Dasher Mark IIs that came out during the anniversary? Is it more risky than normal to invest in them early? And then what both have in common is heavy city starting value, and then all three, the level 3, level 6, and level 8 unlocks, all being cities as well. Does this seal their fate? Let's talk about these items that are come out in this tour. Any of them not risky, or how do you start to understand their value?
Well, I'll chip in first of all as someone who's gone in very heavily on that week 1 pipe. Now, the only reason I did that is because, I had completed my long-term goal of getting a top 10, and I was just kind of like, you know what, I'm just gonna have some fun. Any other way, I wouldn't have done what I've done. I wouldn't have gone in heavy on them, especially with the second, obviously, city tour coming afterwards. I think this better than the Mark II because it's obviously, that's just carts. We've obviously got drivers, and gliders as well as carts. So I think they'll have better value than the Mark IIs. But if I was anyone that I've talked to, and I like to consider myself to be a little bit of a guru. I'm obviously not the spreadsheet man like blobs, but I like, people come to me and ask me their opinions and stuff, and I've generally said to avoid it unless you're going for something. This is a tour that you're going for some ACR, something special, or it might be worth it if you've got the rubies just to get them once and see what happens. You never know what Nintendo's going to throw up. Our city's going to become more regular. But in general, I think it's a heavy risk. I I wouldn't have done it if it wasn't for me thinking, you know what, I love Giant Banana. I've never invested heavily in a Giant Banana character, and I decided to go for it. But nah,
Yeah.
not
So
now.
how much investments? When you said you invested heavily, what are we looking at here? What kind of investments did you make?
It was 20 high-end tickets and double capped.
All on Rosalina.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're just
Wow.
kind of
Okay.
testing the waters there just a little bit. Just going the double on cab, not doing the triple.
Oh, so I was in two minds. It was either that or question mark, cheesehead, whatever his name is. I was up for, I'm doing something stupid. I'm doing something silly. I don't know what. And when I saw, I love Giant Banana. I really do. And I kind of wish I'd done this with Pink Ninja, and I didn't. Mario Sunshine obviously never got the love that he deserved. And I was like, you know what, even if it just turns out for these next 4 weeks, as I said, I'm in a place right now where I'm like, you know what, to hell with it, just have some fun.
Yeah.
And I'm in a fortunate position where tickets come fairly regularly. I'm a pretty large whale, so I'm picking up tickets, almost on a daily basis. So I'll be back soon enough. Yeah.
You'll recover pretty quickly, I'm sure. Yeah. Well, good, man. I mean, honestly, that's a fun way to go. I'm surprised you're not going for top 10 again. I think she's on 14 tracks for all cup ranking, just alone.
Yeah, but at 8 double caps, I still have 27 coinbox tracks. And if I hadn't done this, I would be going for top 10, and I was planning on it. But you know what? As of yesterday, I would say, or late Wednesday, I just I just glazed over. That I was just, I don't know how to put it. After half an hour of grinding, my brain was shutting down. And I don't know, maybe Monday comes around and you know what, I go crazy. But as of now, I've got a weekend plan. I've got golf plan for the days, nice weather. Yeah, I think I'm sort of burnt out a little bit.
Yeah, well, you've earned it with as many top 10 badges you've got, and I don't know how you did, man. But huge kudos again for such an awesome task. It's awesome. What about the rest of the panel? What do you guys think? Mark IIs comparatively to these items this tour.
I mean, I think they're better than the Mark IIs. I know I didn't go into the Mark II pipe at all. I remember watching your video, Studfit, on the Mark II pipe pull, and you were stoked about them, and I was like, these are suckers, man. I just didn't do it. I didn't go in at all. I think I might have done 1 or 2 10 pulls, and I don't know. For this one instance, it turned out I was right, I guess, right? None of those Mark IIs are very valuable. I think that, like what Karim said, Giant Banana is just fun to play with, and it's like how Mario Kart should be played. I think, you're front running, you're trying to stay in front, you're laying the bananas, it helps you stay in front versus, some of the other meta strats. They're fun to play, and I do them obviously with, Boomerang and Lucky 7, trying to stay in 5th place, 6th place, but then win at the end. It's like Giant Banana is how Mario Kart should be, right? And how I grew up playing Mario Kart, where it's like, you're in first, you want to stay in first. What can I do to do that? So I like it. And just score as well, so.
Oh, you nailed it, man. You nailed it. Yeah, I agree 100%. Giant Banana, front running, all of that was very well said. I will say for the Mark IIs, because they had a hitbox and there had so many different colors and stuff, it got excited. But I definitely was surprised at how many cities and how they had that set up, how badly that hurt them. They really started off with a disadvantage. So want to keep hearing, are some of these items this tour going to, are we going to look back, a year later and say, wow, how equally devastating they were, or do you think that they'll be worse or better? What do you guys think?
I think
If I can go,
go ahead,
sorry.
Bob.
I was going to say, if I can just go one more time, I think if you look back at some of the the most recent powerhouse drivers. Now, they started in city tours. Now, it wasn't all city tracks that they started in,
Right.
but a lot of like the best drivers have started in city tours, and people that went in early on like Charging Chuck and what Pinja and
Yep.
Kangaroo Yoshi, like they've been rewarded
Painter.
for that investment. And you know, these drivers have been great. So I don't know. I personally, I pulled them and stashed all of them. I think I did one 10 pull and I got like 2 of the spotlights. Then I did one more and got another spotlight, and I was like, oh, I got to reset. So I reset. I ended up like, I have the sweet ride at level 2, and I think I have the
Oh, wow.
whatever glider, the non-pretzel one at level 2. I reset with
You wanted the
30
pretzel.
pull-
You know you wanted the
30
pretzel.
pulls in, and I was like, I need to get Rosalina because I love Giant Banana, and I got to get the pretzel. So I ended up having to go 60 more, and I got the full set plus 2. Like I ended up getting like 15 high ends at it. So I beat the pipe.
Wow. You did.
Yeah, but no, I'm stashing them. I think you'll see a lot of value out of Rosalina, even if she becomes like the predominant city Giant Banana Queen. It'll be fun to play with. But
Yeah, if I could just quickly sort of jump in there, just the reason why I was a little more bullish on the gliders is, you know, there are something like, you know, the flying, you know, easel, which is actually a pretty decent, it's a pretty decent glider, has got like I think it's like 15 city tracks, and you know, the Rose Parasol has 12, and so if they somehow, it is possible to have 12 city tracks and still have good value, but yeah, I mean, it's unlikely, but you know,
yeah.
I'm holding out hope. But yeah, as I said, I would advise generally against it.
You were gonna say something, Firestorm?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with mostly what the guys are saying. I just think I remember when the MK2s came out, I think it was one of the first times that the community really was like, whoa, oversaturation of carts. Like we started looking and being like, look how many carts are being introduced into the game. And so I think about that now, like, I think for sure, I think Rosalina just has I mean, I agree that like it's risky. I think if you're Gold Pass Plus, if you're getting a little more rubies and you've had a little stashed up, it's smart probably to try and grab her if you can, like just as kind of like getting those plus skill drivers. But I mean, you guys have been talking about the past couple of weeks is they've really been throwing a lot of plus skill drivers at us. Like, so it's like, how is the meta shifting to where more and more plus skill drivers are going to be introduced? So I'd agree with Karim. It's probably a risk, but if you have it, it's probably a calculated risk that you could take to at least grab her. I don't put a lot of I just don't put a lot of stuff in like the carts, and the gliders maybe a little bit more, but cart wise, I get super nervous, like high risk to try and go after a cart unless you really like the cart. I mean, then it's like the game's about fun. If you really want the cart, you're gonna love the cart, have fun, grab it. And so, but yeah, I think that you're taking a risk. I think I really want the pretzel glider. It's like, oh, it's super fun. I did 4 temples, had really good luck, got Chef Rosalina, I had a triple cart pool. I don't know if you guys saw that. Like I got all 3 carts in one pool. And then I kind of was like, you know, I'm not gonna go deeper. I was like, I'm not gonna let it suck me in and go after those gliders. So I'm done. I'm done. And I'm also pumped for the next tour. But yeah, I think that ultimately, I think it is a risk, but I think you can take calculated risks with drivers because we all know that like Rosalina eventually will hit probably a 3 or 4 tour streak where she'll just start popping up in more and more ranked, most likely. And so if you're specifically if you're a newer player who maybe missed out on Pinja, or you missed out on Vacation Luigi, and you missed out on some of these kind of plus skill drivers that are city starters, it could be worth it to like grab her, and then maybe you'll start seeing a little bit of that pay off in the long run. So yeah.
Solid points. Jack, what do you think?
I think the drivers' carts and gliders will have more value than the MK2 carts, and a lot of them have well, I want to say they have like a certain value that that could carry on in the future tours, and also as far as the MK2s, I think like they're really cool carts. I think they haven't been as valuable in most of the courses as far as I'm aware of.
Fair enough. SMBros, what do you think, man? Do you like any of the items on this tour?
Go back. Yeah, I have to go with what they said about the all calculated risk with the cards. They're not really worth it in my opinion, except unless they're.
We might have lost you, SMBros.
Yeah, we're losing you.
Sounds like you like the carts though.
I think he did not like the carts.
Oh, did not like the carts.
I think is what he was going on. I mean, I agree with him. Like the carts, just look at like total number of track. Oh.
SMBros, you want to finish your thought there? Otherwise, we'll keep trucking on. So, yeah, I think it's ultimately it's kind of time will tell. You know, there's a good argument that says, hey, you know, there are some great items that have 10, 12 cities, and look how good they still are, in despite of that. But ultimately, I think, I mean, Giant Banana. I'm a huge fan of Giant Banana. To Bob's point, in that, you know, you're front running, you can ride that wave pretty well, but then also you get more points. So if you got a 200 action with a double Giant Banana, it would be, you know, substantially more points than if you got like a double coin with somebody else, or even like a coin. It doesn't matter what driver you use, but if the banana points are higher than a coin point, so you're going to actually, you know, score higher with a 200 action with a giant banana than really any other skill most of the time. Which I think is interesting.
That's even after they nerfed the combination of the giant banana with a banana glider, which who knows if they'll ever fix that. But
well, that was one of the reasons why I predicted this year we'd see 4 or 5 giant banana characters, is because I felt like when they made that tweak, they were getting ready. Like, hey, we don't want this to be OP. We gotta fix this, and then we can go buck wild and give them everything that they wanted. Big Brolo asked a good question from the Metropolitan Tour. This marks the first time in the game's history where a new driver was released in an all-city tour. Not to mention the following tours to be expected with more cities to come. Will there be a shift on how city tracks will be treated? Could city tracks become assumed going forward if anything were to change? And then at what frequency would city tracks have to reappear in order for them to become assumed? If the city tracks value means does shift, would Chef Rosalina start to have an edge, especially with a great skill?
I mean, if they made the change, she'd have an edge for sure. I think all the city drivers would. I mean, I think we all. I mean, I wish that they would more balanced out, like incorporate cities like into the grand scheme of things, but I really don't think they're going to. Now, Nintendo is not known always for following what we think they're going to do, but I mean, I really don't think. I think we're going to see this city and then Bangkok next tour. It's going to be really cool. And then I wouldn't be shocked if we didn't see cities until until they announced a brand new city, whatever, Cairo, whatever. Yeah, the anniversary. Like, I would not be shocked. Like, I think that it kind of felt like that with Ninja Tour, right? We're all wanting Ninja Hideaway to come back. And it comes back. We're like, yeah. And then it's gone again for like a year. And it's like, we don't see it again. So, I mean, I have a feeling. Yeah. I mean, soak it up this tour, because I don't think we're going to see these tracks for a while. So,
yeah. I mean, I agree with Firestorm. Honestly, I feel like I would enjoy cities more if they were just like sprinkled into regular tours where you had 3 or 4 city tracks in a tour, and you're not just flooded with 8 variants of Amsterdam, 8 of Berlin, 8, you know, it's like, okay, I get it. Like, we're in the city, but like, I don't need 8 of them to be in the city, right? Like, I would like it if like you're playing Rock Mountain and then you have an Amsterdam track thrown in I think that would be more interesting to me personally. I know that they like to do like the full tour and name it after a city, but I wish that they would throw, sprinkle them in personally.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, the
agree.
repeats have been brutal. Like, I don't know if you guys have struggled with it, but like the thing that it's like the same over and over again has been a little brutal this tour. So
Yeah, and then it's like if you're an XP grinder, you're like, oh, I got to get it all in. They're here right now.
that's right.
So it's like, oh, I'm abandoning my ACR run so that I can clear all my track EXP on these. It's kind of silly, but
Seriously.
yeah.
It would be more fun if they had added a city.
Oh, Jack.
Jack froze up on us.
Jack froze up. Yeah, I agree. It would have been nice to have had them, intermittently throughout the year. But it does seem like they're like, "Oh, you want cake? Here's some cake," and just shove it down your throat. And you're just like, "Okay, hey, all right, I like cake, like a slice or two. I don't need this much cake."
Yeah, it's like, you like cake? Here's a whole Costco-sized cake.
Yeah, that's right.
It's tough. I mean, I think for me, the hard part is like when you're just jumping. For all cup ranking, I was just jumping from track to track. And I'd be like, oh, which direction am I headed? Am I going right? Am I going left? I'm losing track because I forgot what variation goes which direction, and my lines are all wonky. But overall, I've really enjoyed the city. There is going to be a panic probably here in a day or so where I'm like, geez, I still got like 10 more tracks to grind. I saw Shadow Legend end up grinding 15 levels for just this tour alone. So I'm curious, how many EXP levels have you guys grinded this tour? Is that a part of an important part of your strategy, or is that more important than ranked? Like if you lose ranked, but you are able to go up a couple extra levels, I mean, how do you kind of gauge that priority?
Well, so on the previous one, when it was the all city, so I was in that was my period when I was building up my levels, and it was important then. I was going between 100 to 150. And the points were more important. And I remember when I completed when you do the last challenge and it says amount of hours played. And this was like on day 6 or day 7, and it was like 92 hours because I hadn't done any of the tracks. So I was quite fortunate in this tour where I only had to do, I think I had to do 8 tracks, and they're worth 5 points each because I went from level 246 to 251, and I'm thinking, what am I doing? That's 25 points. Like, what is wrong with me? But I don't know. It's something compulsive. I ended up doing it, and I was thinking, obviously, what Shadow Legend, he was telling me what he was going through, and I was like, I went through it, and I'm not kidding. Talk about burnout from doing top 10. That was way worse. That was horrendous. I remember chatting with Sammy D, and he was like, dude, like, how are you doing this? Like, what's wrong with you? But I think when you get to that point, there's a completionist element to it. You need, it just needs to be done. It's the number, the points are almost irrelevant. And just putting on 200cc auto item off and round you go. But then when it's the water, like the tracks with the water mechanics, like, oh God, I find it so, I don't know. Does anyone like that? Really? I turn right, it turns left. And it's 200cc, so all of a sudden you go from first to lot. Oh, yeah.
You're using Goopa in the tiny cart course, or every track or every card is like a postage stamp, and you're also trying to collect tokens. Yeah, no, it's not fun.
Oh God, yes, it's been a bit of a nightmare, I must admit.
You're back, Jack. We were just asking how many EXP levels you grinded this tour. How far have you gone up this tour?
I grinded, I think maybe 2 levels. I'm at 213 right now.
Very nice, sir. Is that, I guess, where in priority is that compared to everything else in the game that's become quite grindy here lately? Where does that kind of fit in your priority?
Level wise, I think maybe not at the top, I would think. It takes time to grind the experience points in order to reach the max, which is currently 300. And most of the levels that you reach, you earn 100 coins. With like 5s and 10s, you earn 5 rubies.
All right, so yeah, so you're not worried about it too much. It doesn't sound like. What about the rest of you guys?
I haven't been too worried. I mean, sorry. Just real quick, I just went 3 levels. I haven't really focused on it. I've been more focused on collecting tokens, trying to get those token pipe pulls. So I mean, I'm at 220 now. I just hit 220, and so it's not high priority. But I totally get what Karim's saying. I mean, you definitely get in those modes sometimes where you're trying to check those boxes. So
Yeah, my strategy the last couple tours has been for ranked. I want to clear all of the course EXP before I actually make a go at it, and I want to get to the next level so that I'm at 0% and I can use tickets and force close the game. So I'm like, I'll start the track and I get one of them done, and then I'll try to grind that one. Then I'll move on, and then I end up at like 30%. And I'm like, oh shit, I really want to grind this with Pinja and use an item ticket before the first box. So all right, let me go play some of the other courses that I have, the old stuff that I stopped grinding once 150 was a cap. So then I'll go do that, spend a couple days, get up to the next level, and then rerun the courses. And I guess some people call those late grinders, sandbaggers or something. But for me, it's more just like the strategy of not losing the player EXP, because it's like, God, it's so painful to see it. If you're not paying attention to that, you're force closing, you could start a day at 50%, and then the end of the day you look back and you're like, oh my God, I'm down to 10% or 0. Like what?
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a huge tour for people that are newer players. If you really, if XP wise, if you're thinking about it, like if you're under 150, there's a huge tour, because you should be grinding if you have the time to get up to that 150 mark fast, or even if you're really pushing for 200. Because I mean, most of the tracks, you're getting XP on every single track you're racing. So, I mean, I would take advantage of that if you're a newer player for sure. And just put in a little extra time to grind out some extra levels. Because a lot of us obviously have been playing for so long. Like above 200, I'm not worried about it. But if I was specifically if I was under 150, I'd probably be doing some extra grinding for sure.
Yeah, those are some major
shout out to Brolo, under 150 grinder.
That's right. Yeah, Brolo and Friends of Fangirl.
Yeah,
get up to that 150.
They'll get there. But yeah, I think getting to 150, getting to 200 are some major milestones there in the game. Just because those are 2 point of diminishing returns where you do get a lot of points for those levels up to those moments. So yeah, highly recommend anyone really trying to grind. Like again, if you go down a tier or something like that, but you're able to go extra 5 levels, that'll help you out in the long run. I think you'll be okay. Yeah. Do you think so? Estrella asks, do you think the Metropolitan Fest will be a turning point for Mario Kart Tour history? Do you think city tours and courses might get more prominent from now on? We kind of talked on that, but I think most people might be like you, Firestorm, where they're a little bit more pessimistic. But didn't hear from everyone else. Do you think that in the future, at some point, we will have cities relatively regularly, like at least one city tour a track? Do we say up or down? No, no one.
I'm pessimistic. I mean, I would love if they did sprinkle them in, like the salt from up high, over the Salt Bay. I would love that, but I don't think they will. I mean, I think that they, for whatever reason, they like advertising in the App Store that it's a city tour, and like I think they probably get a lot of casuals, like people that don't come on to Mario Kart talk shows, probably really enjoy like downloading the game, playing a couple city courses, and that's it. Maybe they do Gold Pass, and I think that's who they're more targeting with the cities, and they want to keep it kind of grouped together for that reason. But
I'll tell you one thing, I do enjoy obviously new tracks, but it would I mean, there's 100 city track, I don't know, it would royally screw up my Bam and Gubs spreadsheet. My word. I was thinking, oh my word, what would I don't even know, I can't even think about what I would have to do. The meta would be completely changed. which might be fun, might be interesting, but that's definitely worth a consideration. But no, just as Bob was saying, it makes, to me, I just don't understand why you can't just have, okay, it's the Kamek Cup and the third track is Berlin, I was 2T, whatever. Like, why not? I just don't see why that's. I understand. Okay, Bangkok, yeah, you're gonna have 3-4 variations of it. Terrific, fine. I just don't understand. Just don't bring back London Loop. I mean, I'm from London, and my word, I hate that.
Even you hate it. That's good.
That's a shame. I don't know why they did London so dirty. Really, so straight and boring and hard to keep combo sometimes. But any of the other ones, yeah, I would love to see them thrown in personally.
But Jack, you seem a little more optimistic that maybe we'll see one day them sprinkled in.
Yeah, definitely. With so many cities that haven't made it to the tour yet, someday they'll make it. And definitely, I think they would. It's possible they can make it a little more regular with the city courses, like with the city tours, like how they're doing it right, this year with Bangkok, with Amsterdam. But it's a possibility.
I think it could. My personal belief is that I think it could happen. I think that's one of those Hail Mary, like, hey, we got to switch stuff up. What are we going to do? Oh, we ran out of me suit. We've already given me suits. We've already given this. I mean, it's a major switch up. It's a card that they have. I don't think they'll play it. I don't think this is a turning point. I don't think it'll happen here. But I do foresee maybe in 2023 or something down the line, if there's one thing Nintendo likes to do, it's completely change things up. I also do believe that we take this game way more seriously than I think Nintendo expects us to. Like we are like a minority of the population that play this game, all talking to each other. So we all think everyone's doing this, but like I bet you the majority of the actual casual player, like they may not go to Twitter, they may not even see what's coming up except for what's in the news, and then they just open up their game and maybe on every other Wednesday, and like that's the usual player. But
and they have Ice Mario triple uncapped level 3, and like I mean,
Right.
there's a lot of different ways to play the game and get enjoyment out of it. And honestly, if you're not heavily invested into this game, like playing multiplayer, if you enjoy multiplayer, like if you enjoy that experience, like you can get a lot out of the multiplayer and not be into the meta at all. Like, so.
Yeah, I'd be interested even to know. I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen this, like how many active players there are on Mario Kart Tour, like right now, like truly like daily players that are playing every day. Be interesting to know that.
At
Just
least
because
1,000.
I mean, at least 1,000 for sure. But I was seeing I have a free to play account that I play way less, that I don't have very anything, and I typically land in about the top 15% with my free to play account at the end of the tour, and I'm not necessarily trying super hard and haven't invested in a lot of stuff. So it's just interesting to think how many active players are there actually playing.
Yeah, in the App Store they'll say how many people have downloaded it, but we don't really have the data on like who's actually playing it every day. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see that those demographics. I don't think
they have that data, but they ain't gonna show.
Yeah, they have that data, and that's part. Like honestly, so like I would consider myself like a whale 7 or 8 whale. Like I have my normal gliders maxed out at 8. I've been pulling out a lot of special pipes when level 8 came out, just trying to get everything up. But I'm like, the game is expensive if you want to play that way, but at the same time, I'm like, I get a lot of enjoyment out of this game. I spend a lot of my time playing it, and it's like, I want the game to continue to be developed, so I don't like necessarily mind spending a lot of money on something that I'm getting enjoyment out of, right? I know other players look at it like, oh, I can play this game and not spend any money, and all these whales are big suckers. Like, what are they doing? But I don't know. I'm funding the development of it, I guess, and I'm okay with that.
Bob, I need to ask though. You say you've got all your gliders. That are they all triple caps? Because otherwise,
they are. Yeah, they're all triple cap.
Damn it! I was convinced you were going to say no. And I was going to shut you down.
Yeah, doing like I like.
You
So,
can't one up a BobLoblob.
so I've gone for ACR 100 a couple times. I just missed the cutoff the first time by like 20 spots or something. The last time I went for it, I ended up deciding like 2 days before the cutoff. I was like, I'm gonna go for it. Like my score sheet says I'm at like 92%. I can probably make it. And then it was during the race to 80. So I abandoned like ranked to go for ACR, and I had a road trip coming up. And the road trip, we left on Tuesday, the last day of the tour. And my kids came home early from daycare, and like I was grinding, and I had to stop. And then we left. We drove through the night. So I stopped grinding at like 3, and I was like 20,000 underneath the projection or something. And I'm like, God, this sucks. And then I open up the game while I'm driving. I stop at a gas station. I open up the game to check ranks. I was in, I think, 2nd place in rank. And I was like, whatever, I'm good there. I don't need to win. I just need to tear up. And somebody leapfrogged me in the last 20 minutes. So I ended up at 4th in rank. And I ended up in like 108 or something for ACR. And I was like, if I'd had one more hour, I could have at least gotten that ACR 100 badge, which would made me feel accomplished,
Man,
like I belong here in this discussion. But
the perfect storm.
yeah, it was. I was like, man, that was a double loss. Like,
brutal.
Well, kudos to you for getting back up on the horse and playing the game again. Because I feel like some people would be like, I'm done. And this is I just got Mario Karted of all Mario Karted.
It's a game. Like I play like during the day. If I'm in between things, I'll set up auto mode and grind base points on my triple uncapped normal gliders, get them all up to 380 on auto mode. I like doing that. Or 50cc, just where I set the phone down, it's on the charger and it's going, whatever. I get 12 tokens or 2 tokens for a race or whatever it is. But then like at night, after my kids are in bed, after my wife's asleep, I'm like, oh, I got like an hour, 2 hours to play. And that's like kind of like when I actually play. But I don't know. I get ACR 1000, but it's like I have my loadouts are at the level where I should be doing ACR 100, I guess. But I'm not at the Karim level.
No, I mean,
the top 10.
Karim is in his own tier there.
Yeah, I don't know how anybody does top 10 ever, because that's it's like you need 95% or more probably, right?
Well, so in the 3 of them that I have got, 2 of them, I got between 95 and 96%. My loadouts are stronger than the average top 10 player, which says a lot. But then the very first one that I got, I ended up getting like 93, but I actually only needed like 90. Like 91, 92%. There are some like it's a lot of it's luck. If you're going for, I guess the same applies for top one. I remember thinking this about top 100. Now top 100 is obviously not a concern for me because my loadouts are so strong. But there will be tours like the tour a couple back where it was so congested. Everyone went for top 10, and then the next tour, I think people were just knackered. People missed out by 5,000 points, 3,000 points, and it was a kind of a walk in the park. So a lot of it is picking the right tour and being lucky. If like I was actually saying to Studfit, I remember what tour was it? It was just last tour, wasn't it, Studfit? Where you were in first place, weren't you? Or
a couple days mid tour.
And I remember I said to you, I know that you had plans and you couldn't manage it, and I don't know how far you pushed it, but you got there so quickly. And I know obviously you're famous, 11th place or whatever. But I remember saying to you, mate, if you somehow have the time and went for it, this is the tour to go for, because it was like 250,000 points less than the previous tour. It's like there's a lot of luck involved in that. So
Yeah, I even saw the cutoff go down in the last couple days. I thought about it. The thing is that the reason I spent about 10 to 12 hours on All Cup ranking every tour, and so sometimes it's like, you know, yeah, I procrastinate and I wait for the last couple of days of the tour, and actually kind of enjoy it that way, feeling the pressure of like I've gotten my base levels, got my other stuff. And I was going away on a trip for 6 days, so I was like, I'm not gonna play for these 6 days. I gotta start now. And even like this upcoming week, I even got a hard, like today I think I'm like 6th in place, but I've broken the top 100 band for this tour, mainly because Monday I'm headed out to Las Vegas for a conference. So like for me, it's like I have to plan my All Cup ranking around my travel. So yeah, I happen to get a head start, but you know, I even thought about like I'm grinding here, you know, with my wife on vacation. I should just maybe I could just get a couple extra tracks in, and then I was like, I have to like preserve this time. I do have to block it out. But yeah, I mean, there was a little temptation there. I will say, with top 10, it's different because there's only 10. Like you're just talking about 10 people making the decision. I'm going to grind. Like I remember during the Christmas break, I was like, oh, I'll go for, you know, I have really good loadouts for this. I think it was in Vancouver. And I was like, oh, I got these good loadouts. I'm going to make all these decisions. I basically had a nearly 777. Again, this is before level 8. Nearly like the best loadout. But again, at that time, almost everyone in the top 100 had those types of loadouts because we were all pretty congested. We'd been at level 7 for a while. And there were like 6 or 7 ER guys going for it. And then a number of other, you know, guys from around the world. I was like, I realized like halfway in, I was like, there's too many people going for it. There's only 10 spots. I really wish they would give like a badge for like top 50 or top 25. I think that would be a lot of fun if they did that. But yeah, anyway, I'm probably boring the heck out of Firestorm and Jack, guys. Thanks for letting us talk about All Cup ranking there for a while.
Can we do ACR one more thing? So the biggest thing
Yeah.
that I learned from my failed attempts is that don't leave Boombox or Boomerang tracks to the last ones to do, because the score sheet gives you, you know, the max score potential. Maybe you can get a little bit over, but Boombox is like, you really need the stars to align to do it successfully. And you need to have a couple hours set aside. Sometimes you'll get it on your first run, but other times you just spend hours and you're not going to get it. And I was like, if I have a lot of Boomerang drivers in an ACR, I'm like, I'm not thinking about it. Like, I don't have that much time to invest personally. It's a fun skill. I love it, but pretty much only for ranked for the Boomerangs.
Yeah, I mentioned Raker. I think it was on the rundown, or maybe it was on Car Talk last time. We had a conversation afterwards too. It's like, I do think that there is something, if you like boomeranging, if you like the boomerang skill, just invest in one boomerang driver and just really like that boomerang driver. Because if you try to invest in all these boomerang drivers, then you're going to have to rely on boomerang every single time, and you're not going to like it anymore. I know for him, he had like 20 tracks that he had to boombox, and he just was like pretty exhausted. So anyway, my thing is, if you like boomboxing, that's great, but invest in one and let that be your enjoy that moment when a boombox track comes up. You're like, yeah, I get to do it again. As compared to like really relying on it, you're gonna get burnt out. It's gonna be really tough. All right, so thank you guys for the All Cup ranking conversation. That was impromptu and much enjoyed, I think, from many people. But for sake of Firestorm and SMBros and everyone else, so Luis Enrique Ruiz Rivera 22 says, seeing the Chef Rosalina buffs between the Metropolitan Tour and the next tour, the Thailand Tour. Could you think that Nintendo might zig while everyone else is zagging and put her in ranked cups more often? Do you think that's a possibility?
Yes.
I know you're praying to the Rosalina gods that happens, but you know, I mean, do you think? I know there have been some theories. I think Frenzy Fans Guy had mentioned this, that if things are pulled less, then they're put in ranked more, or some kind of like way where Nintendo does try to take into consideration who has what and really try to kind of ramp things up for drivers that, you know, people may not have.
Well, how many people pulled for Pink Ninja? I think quite a few. And He's been in rank. I mean,
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
single time I'm just like, oh, why did I not invest in him? I was like, okay, it's too late now. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. It's too late. And then, oh God, he's there again. It just keeps on happening. So
Yeah.
I think I don't think many people. I think people may well have pulled for her, but how many people? I haven't seen anyone, at least on my friends list or anything like that, who's got her anywhere near what I do, which is 8 double cap, not even close.
Yeah.
So pulls maybe, but also investments. I can see her showing up an awful lot personally.
I agree. I think she's going to show up in the next few weeks. I think she'll pop up pretty often. So
Can you imagine if she doesn't? And with the way the Rosalina fans are, they'll be contacting Nintendo and sending support tickets and posting on their Facebook like that, you know, Mario Kart isn't treating Rosalina right, you know, like, so I think she'll be in ranked. But, you know, going back to that point about items that are not pulled being in ranked, that's not always true. Like if you think about going back to the Meowser tour, who was the second spotlight pipe? Like the
Catalina.
Catalina. Like,
yeah.
How many people after pulling on Meowser pipe went into the Catalina pipe thinking, oh, she's going to be a ranked queen, but I don't think she was, right? Like,
She was definitely a bust. I mean, I think she's a bust.
And then there's like, somebody just pointed out in the Donnie's channel that like Cat Peach is not in ranked at all this tour, and like, how many people pulled for Cat Peach, or not Cat Peach, sorry, Dr. Peach?
Oh, okay.
Like all the other doctors have at least one, all of the cats, but for some reason Dr. Peach is missing. I don't know. I don't think they always do that. It does seem that way at times though.
It might be a tie between Volandam Rosalina and Chef Rosalina as far as how many track coverages that they'll both have. And even though I think Chef Rosalina will have more, I don't think it'll be enough to top Volandam Rosalina.
Yeah, I mean, you have to realize like some these characters, they have to have literally everything fall into place. All the stars have to align for them to be really, really valuable. But again, it depends on what your thoughts on value is. You know, maybe if you like, some people really care about ranked. Some people really care about all cup rankings. Some people really care about you know, getting more, you know, bonuses from bananas. Like there's different ways that you're going to prioritize your game, and that's going to kind of shift things. But yeah, I don't know. Well, I think time will tell, but I don't know. I'm not going to be the one taking that risk.
I would also say that the way that the development has gone with the game over the last 6 months has opened up the ability for lots more items to be valuable because they're releasing new track every tour. And it means that you have to make decisions, and that's, you know, you're either going to have your Rosalina banana level 8 and use her, or you're going to have Volendam at 8 and use her. Like, I don't know. There's just not enough tickets unless you get like, you know, the daily selects shop of the gods like Karim.
Like Karim, yeah.
I know I don't have enough. Like,
no, I mean, there's so many drivers. The thing is, like, there were already so many top skill drivers before the Miis got here, and now we have like these Mii suits on top of it that just make it much more complex. And they're the meta gods and all this other stuff. But yeah, it's gonna be one of those things where if you want her to be your pillar, go for it. Invest in her. You know, I think overall the good thing is that she has a top skill. Like when I saw Catalina, like I don't care if she's gonna be the rank goddess. Like she's not gonna be my rank goddess. I'm not gonna invest her because she doesn't have top skill. I saw a couple people go into the what was it, the Penguin Toadette, and they're like, this one's gonna be it. I'm like, guys, with no top skill, it's a super risk. Like you literally, even in the perfect scenario where you have Black Birdo, you're still only going to use her on like the half of tracks that she was the queen on. It's just not worth it.
And enjoy your ice flower that does nothing, bounces off 3 walls and hits nobody.
It always hits you. And the good thing about Giant Banana, like, you know, how quickly, you know, you just start, item ticket, okay, reset, follow the same thing that Bob does, you know, get to my new player level, so I'm at 0.1%, whatever, and I'm done with the track close to 100%, usually within half an hour, 20 minutes. Whereas with coinbox, sometimes it's 10 minutes, sometimes it's 3-4 hours. Some tracks are like, especially the shorter ones where you need like double coin frenzy, double singles when there's only 4 boxes. I mean, it drives me bonkers. With that giant banana, it's such a time saver as well.
And what the giant banana kind of does is it neutralizes like the Mario Karted stuff, because you get so far in front of all the bots. Even if you get blue shelled or lightning after you've gotten a giant banana frenzy, it's like I'm still in first. Like versus a coin box, you could be in like a double coin box frenzy run, but you're right there and the bots are right up against you, and somebody hits a green shell off the wall and hits you, and you're like, oh man, come on, like really? So like giant banana, it's like a good run means that you basically have won every time. Versus all the other skills is like, oh, I had a great run, Boombox, but I finished 7th, or Lucky 7, I had a great run, but I couldn't get that red shell frenzy to get back into first. But giant banana, man.
Discord, the amount of pictures of people were like 229 actions, 3rd place.
Yeah.
No one's done that with giant banana. There is no giant banana.
Right. How would it be possible to have like a double giant banana frenzy and not finish in first place? Like that should be one of the expert challenges.
Well, I have this. I do have this kind of theory. I do feel like when you have a substantial lead, that does increase the chances of, say, lightning or blue shell than if you're like in a pack. And so for that reason, you could get more. But to your point, it shouldn't matter. You're just so far in advance.
It actually helps you. It can slow you down.
And honestly, on giant banana, on like Baby Park, I was taking it where I'd get it on the first lap, and then it's like there's still a giant banana that hasn't been hit. I'm like, I'm gonna run into it. I have such a lead. Like I want this to be split into 4 more bananas, like so I get more hits, so more action. And it's like you can do that, and you sometimes collect 1 or 2 of your coins that you spill, you get more actions there. It's like there's more meta involved with giant banana than just front running. Like making those deliberate decisions to like crash into your own giant banana can actually be like a smart move. So
I mentioned that on a Kart Talk episode, and Sammy D was he kind of challenged me in a very cool way, but I was pretty adamant about it. It was I think during one of the LA tours when he was on there, and I think it's an extremely good strategy, but it does take some finesse, just like any other skill. I think the finesse is actually less tricky than boomboxing or anything like that. But like you kind of go through the first row. If you were to run into your own banana, it would be going through that first row of what you laid on like that second lap, and maybe there's like that giant banana in the corner. At the very end, the trail end of your frenzy, run into that, because that's going to help, kind of collect a lot more actions. There's a lot of meta strategy to doing it that way. Highly recommend it, but it does take a lot of finesse. Try it out. Find a good way to be able to, because again, you want the race to go as long as possible because there's so many bananas out there.
Question. Let's say you've got a coin frenzy. Does it, if you run through your own bananas, do you get extra hits for that? Like,
no.
I've thought that sometimes. Should I be running?
You don't.
You don't. Okay.
You don't. If you have a green shell and the side of the shell spinning around you hits it, you'll get like an item deflected action, I believe. But coin frenzy, you don't. I think honestly, so I've been big on the meta of giant banana before Pinja came out. I remember being hyped about like the giant banana paired with banana glider. And I think the most important part of giant banana that like takes some skill, or the hardest part, is figuring out when to throw giant bananas forward, because on a lot of these Pinja tracks, they've been these gliding tracks where giant banana is useless on a gliding track because you're just dumping it into a spot that no one's ever going to hit. You have to like think, I need to start throwing these forward to get something on the track maybe, and then like getting it where it doesn't go forward, but off to the side, and getting everything on the track down the middle is like really important, giant banana. But it's fun to play with. I don't know.
Yeah. There's even times though, and so if you run into your own banana, you don't get points. Is that right?
Correct. You don't, but you spill coins that you can then pick up.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was curious, like if you got like a coin frenzy and you're coming close to the finish line and there's some bananas in front of you, if you ran over your own bananas, if you got like an item destroyed.
No, you do with a green shell frenzy. If you clip the side of it, you'll get an item deflected from those shells that spin around you.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
No, thanks for clearing that up.
The worst frenzy, second frenzy, if you get a giant banana to go through your mess that you've laid on the second lap, is super horn, or I guess the bell too, because that just literally will destroy all of the bananas that you maybe get those actions on the second lap. But
nice. We got one last question for the Metropolitan Tour. We also have a lot to get to from the Bangkok Tour and a lot else going on. So Torch, this last question for Metro Tour. Torch asks, do you still grind the token shop pipe? Have you emptied it every tour? So how, I think when we talked about having, these coinbox drivers with the tokens, I think many of us wanted to get to those red coins as soon as possible. And there's still sometimes a debate with whether those red coins go away. I think it's the majority of people realize that it does take place of the red coins. I feel like that's pretty well established, but there's still people that will argue that. But anyway, have you treated the tokens in the token shop any differently? Are you burnt out on those tokens? Do you still kind of leave them, or how successful has been your the ability to grind down those tokens?
The great thing about that rally tour, my word, I was done in a day and a half. That was fantastic.
Team bonus, extra 40 tokens.
It's nuts. I've actually found, in this current tour, it's taken me roughly the same amount of time as it did by hitting people with making people crash. I haven't found a big difference. I've personally cleared it every single time. I've always got between 3 and 6 gold pipes, which to me has been, has been worth it. But I can totally understand when you get to those pipe 21 to 31 and you grinded 500 tokens and you get, a glider.
3 glider point boost tickets.
Yeah, seriously.
It's like, it is.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I personally haven't. I mean, I think I've cleared it 3 or 4 times, maybe. I mean, definitely not on the crashes. I just don't have time, honestly. I think I tried really hard in the beginning to clear it, but I realized that the risk or the return wasn't the greatest after that. For me personally, it wasn't worth the time after that 300 token mark for me. I just wasn't seeing the gold pipes as much. I know some people have. And so funny enough with me, it's just funny how the game's so random. I mean, that RNG is like, I've had the best luck in the like 50 to 100 token cost. Like I've had so many great pickups there. So I think I let go of that a few tours ago, though. I think I was feeling the pressure of like, oh, I got to do this, got to have that chance at the 45 rubies or the chance at the 10,000 coins. And I just never have gotten it. I've gotten a lot of tickets and different things. But so I've let that go personally. But
what about you, SMBros? It looks like you're back. How has your token grinding been going?
I've only cleared the token pipe only one time, but that was back at the Team Tour, and this took me about half the tour, maybe about 3/4 of the tour to completely clear it out. And yeah, about the gold pipes, I haven't been getting a lot of them, but for this tour, I've been definitely seeing a number of gold pipes for me for the token, and
yeah.
But yeah, I really haven't been grinding them as much as I don't really find it to be, all that worth it.
Yeah, you know what? The return on investment on those definitely diminishes once you get to the 500 per. I'll be honest with you though, I've been grinding just specifically like the last 2 or 3 days, just only grinding tokens and EXP, and like that's all I've been focused on, because for me, I can't tell you how many times last week for the last ranked, where I got like a triple coinbox frenzy, but because there were so many tokens, I was still short like 3,000, 4,000 points. Like on that,
There's
I think it
Promenade.
was the Berlin RT. Man, I got a triple coinbox frenzy and like 2 singles. And I still was like substantially like 15, 20 actions short. So for me, it was, and that was even considering the fact that it was over 200 for the action count. So for me, it's like, it was making a huge impact just on my actions. So with 2 coinboxers this week, I'm just grinding down my tokens before I even touch ranked, because I need those tokens out of there. I need my red coins. I need that in order to get my actions that I need for ranked. Just pointing out there.
Massively. When I've gone for my top 10 runs, that's like basically priority number 1. You just notice it. You're on a straight, you fire a single, and you can just see it's not even just the amount of red token, it's the dispersion. I mean, you're picking up for the same run. I'm not even kidding. There's a 30 action difference, I would say. And if you're going for top 10, which I was going for, but equally so, if you're going for a top 100 and it's that important to you, it kind of has to be done, in my opinion.
Yeah, I know personally I have cleared all of the token shops since they come out. It's fun, like, I actually enjoy the ones where you need to get hits more than the collect coins. You need to get hits to get the tokens that like doesn't affect coinbox, which is obviously the king. You're getting red coins as you should. And you can do the 50 TC base run grind that I do like during the day. It's my time up to $100 or something crazy, like where I just leave it on the screen. I don't know, but you get tokens that way a lot easier with the do hits. Set it up with a giant banana driver. I think one of the tours that was collect coins, I like made it a point to clear all the tokens in the first week, but I was like, that's too much. Like it was too much like mindless just trying to collect tokens, which wasn't as enjoyable for me. So now I'm trying to hit a certain amount every day, and if I get a little under, it's okay. If I hopefully clear it out by a couple days left in the tour.
For me, I would empty a pipe, empty the token pipes every time, and it's gotten to where it's a little tougher, more tougher with causing opponents to crash than to collect the coins on the cores. And one of the tough parts about using a coinbox driver to collect the tokens is where they scatter, like say how far it goes and which direction it lands. It's hard to collect every single token when there's a lot of turns and it goes like through walls that you can't reach them or anything. So it's a little tougher to collect the tokens that way.
Or the coins fall through bridges, or the tokens fall through bridges.
Seriously.
Like, exactly.
Like speaking of like lost actions, I just did a run today on the Berlin track in ranked. I got double coinbox friendly, triple coinbox, like triple single. I was like, it was a 215 or 217 run or something. I was like, if my token shop had been cleared, this would have been like a 230, 240 run. And I was like, damn it. Like, oh well. Still good enough.
Yeah. Once you're over 200, I think you'd be set.
I know.
But
That's one of the biggest things that I've gotten from your videos is you mentioning that and really starting to understand the points. And it's like, you're right. Like once you're over 200, the additional points is like move on somewhere else that you're under 200.
Yeah. It still hurts though, because you could have had a world record. You could have had, been a little bit more enthusiastic. Fun. Yeah. No, I'm with you. It's brutal. Yeah. All right, let's move into Bangkok, guys. Who's hyped for some tuk-tuks. What skill do you believe the new Daisy alt will have? Obviously, we have this two little baskets with some bananas in it. So a lot of people are thinking this could be banana. We just got off of if you look at like some of the drivers, we just got off of giant banana skill. Daisy already has a triple bananas. It does seem like these banana barrels seem to be only for Donkey Kong Country characters. And then, of course, you have Nintendo, who always loves to troll us and says, I remember Frenzy fans saying, like, this they do this to us every time. There's going to be no way that there's any banana skill. Thought about having a bet with them. But what do you guys think? What kind of skill is she going to have? Is she going to have maybe even coinbox? What do you guys think?
Maybe. I mean, I think that, I thought there's a couple trolls on there. You have the bananas in the boat, but then if you look at her dress, she's a fire flower on the dress. So like, if you look, like there's patterns of fire flowers on her dress. So it's kind of like, I don't know. I think Nintendo, I literally think whoever's at Nintendo, they like doing this. I think they like trolling the community and like messing with people. And so my bet right now, I'm putting it on Lucky 7. I think it should be Lucky 7 driver. So we'll see.
That was my call.
So
I think they roll a dice, or they get one of those 8 balls or something. I swear to God, there's no everyone who's got a shirt with something on it. It's never that.
It's never that.
Vacation Luigi with the mushrooms, right?
Yeah, that was a huge troll. I mean, that was massive.
That was their biggest troll. I've heard some people saying that the Mario Samurai with the coins on his thing, everyone thought he was going to have a coinbox, but I don't think that's a troll. I actually feel like that means if you think about like the Ninja Hideaway and like there's those coins that were perfect for boomboxing, to me that wasn't a troll. I don't think that falls in the troll category. I think just a lot of people just assumed that because coins come out of a coin box. But to me, like I saw the Ninja Hideaway and you kind of see those coins stacked in a similar way on that second shelf, which is arguably the best place in the entire game to get a boombox or to have a boomerang frenzy that's not related to anyone else's item being used like a bot. So to me, like that actually made a lot of sense. So I don't consider that a troll, but I do the Luigi with the mushroom on his shirt, biggest troll of Nintendo game. Like that it was solid in our mind that he was going to have some kind of mushroom skill. Yeah, I'm with you. So what skill do you think Daisy has? SMBros, what do you think, man?
I think that for me, I think it might look at so you already said the bananas and the fire for one. I'm honestly thinking other way around.
Okay.
I'm essentially thinking it'll lean more towards possibly mushroom cannon or maybe triple shrooms.
Ooh. Okay, so you're going the shroom route.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Nintendo, or should I say troll endo? They gotta be trolling us again.
Yeah.
For sure. Trolls love shrooms. That makes sense. I like it. Jack, what were you going to say?
I was agreeing with SMBros that I think she's going to have triple mushrooms. Now, I could say she might have Boomerang, but I think we already got one with Samurai Mario. So I'm going to go with the triple mushroom.
And the most recent Boomerang we got was Amsterdam, Rosie. So I don't see why they can't have back-to-back Boomerangers.
Yeah, you know what? I think Nintendo's going to have to break precedence somewhere, right? So they're either going to have 2 triple banana drivers, or they're going to have back-to-back giant banana drivers, or I think this is like I cannot stand it when everyone they see a new character, they're like, does it have coinbox? And I'm like, oh, why do you think that? And they're like, because that's what's gonna.
Because I'm gonna be right 1 out of every 8 times.
Eventually.
And then it comes they're gonna be like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
So I actually do think that she is gonna have coinbox, and it's for not just because I want to be right 1 out of every 8 times.
All right, we're listening.
If you looked at the trailer, it looks like there's gonna be 2 special types, right?
It's all going to bikini.
Maybe.
I think there's going to be
I felt like it was going to be a vacation week 2 pipe.
I think that there's going to be like a Daisy special pipe, and it looks like a gold pass trash item special pipe. and so my theory is that they're going to release the new Daisy with coinbox and the special pipe at the same time, week 1 special pipe, and it's going to be the gold trash item special pipe with the release of the coin box, but I don't know.
Wow,
will
that's
say-
a
guess.
bold. That's a
That's-
bold prediction.
That is.
It's going to be
That is
like
bold.
people,
Right. If that's correct, I mean,
That's
people are going to watch this and after the tour and be like, he was a
you
fucking
work for
idiot.
Nintendo.
It was smoking.
Sorry, he was an idiot.
gold.
No,
I will
don't
say
know. That's
that
my fun guess.
Thailand. I will say that Thailand. If any of you have been, I've been several times. Thailand is super into gold stuff. I mean, the temples are all gold plated. Like there's gold everywhere. Like it's actually a
Yeah, tell
huge
us
thing.
more.
So I mean, just like if you go, there's Buddhist temples all over Thailand, and everything is plated in gold.
That's
Like
what
I
I
mean,
heard.
everything. And so, like, it wouldn't be outside if they were actually looking at cultural stuff to do something that was gold. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked just because that's what I was gonna say. I think it's Lucky 7, but I wouldn't be shocked if it was Coinbox just because all of those temples are plated in gold. So
And it's been what? 7? How many tours? 7 tours since. Okay, forget the Mii's or whatever. But
me suits, but I mean, it's been a while since another
7
one.
tours since a coin box. Is that around about a reasonable time for?
I'm less worried necessarily about like the timeline. I don't think that's going to have much to do with it. I think what has a bigger impact is Daisy doesn't have a Coinbox driver alt yet. I
And
think
she does have Lucky 7, so
Did you go on Reddit today to find that out and see all the Daisy fans complaining that she doesn't have a coin box?
Oh God, I forgot about holidays.
well, I mean, the Reddit fans, they'll find you. They'll be hiding behind bushes, letting you know. Yeah, no, I'm with you. Hey, all I'm saying, guys, is like that to me, that just like Nintendo does make a purpose more than anything else to give Coinbox drivers to each driver. We gotta, literally everyone. Bowser's got 2, and obviously Mario has 2. But like other than that, they've placed it around. There's only so many drivers that don't have Coinbox. I know Sergeant Spike's rooting for Bowser Jr. to finally get his Coinbox, but it does seem like they outside of Bowser Jr. They do a pretty good job of sharing the wealth amongst the driver alts to make sure that everyone has a Coinbox. So eventually Daisy will. I think they've given her literally every other skill. To me, like that's why I'm kind of leaning towards Coinbox for the first time. Like that, but at the same point in time, who knows with Nintendo? Daisy seems to have just like garbage skills in general.
Absolutely. I mean, the
Yeah.
only person
as
who's
I
worse
said-
is probably Waluigi.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I would love that.
I know Waluigi is your man, but I mean, does he even okay, there's triple
Luigi
Bomb
doesn't have a
cannon
coin box
and
either.
Triple bananas.
Triple banana,
For
yeah.
Waluigi.
Like he's the most. Yeah, those two. Oh dear God.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, I mean
No,
Nintendo likes to give like this, Mushroom Legacy plus Mario. They like to favor them a lot, like too much. It's actually pretty exhausting to think about how many Peach alts we have, how many Mario alts we have, how many Daisy alts we have. Even Luigi still gets like way more attention than Waluigi or Wario or Bowser Jr. Or even these Shy Guys probably get the best of all these minions or all these bad guys aside Bowser.
I love it.
Why is Wario treated so badly? Why? Like he's such a cool character. I don't.
He's not one of the main guys. He's not one of the good guys. I don't know why Nintendo does it this way. Maybe one day if we get him in a room, it'll be one of 100.
You think about all the best coin boxes. You think, okay, obviously you've got Banter, you've got Meowser, King Bob, got all the best coin boxes, basically the big ones, but they're all baddies. But then the main bad Wario, and Waluigi, they're pretty, and they're just completely shunned.
Yeah, they're completely goal-driven, so that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, why do you think they do that, SMBros?
I don't know. Imagine if they're Wario and Waluigi are complete outcasts. It's not Waluigi. And one main example is the Super Smash game. It's like they have Wario in there as a fighter, but yet Waluigi as a destroyer. Wanting Waluigi to play, yet every time they keep bringing up as the destroyer. And for Ultimate, they show them that you actually kill them, with Waluigi being the quote-unquote man.
Yeah, I don't know why they've treated him like outcasts, but it's not just Waluigi and Wario. Like it's that Bowser Jr., even King Boo. Like they're just
Exactly.
Yeah.
great question.
I don't know. I think a lot of this game, like the player base, we try to analyze it and figure out the best things to invest in. I think Nintendo has the same strategy, but from how to maximize like engagement and revenue. And they look at like, I don't know if you followed like when they released the most level up tickets drivers had, like all of us in like this community that goes on Mario Kart talk shows are investing in the drivers that are the ones that got the most level. Like I think Cat Peach was like the #1 driver, right? Like they look at that and they're like, how do we get more people to play the game? Well, we give them lots of
More cats.
drivers.
More
Yeah,
cats.
more cats and more Peach alts and Mario
Yeah,
alts because he's the face, and that's how they're trying to get more people into the game, I think.
Is there seriously
Yeah,
data
Mario,
saying that about
Yeah,
Cat
Mario-
Peach being the most?
I think that they released something on
They did, they
Twitter, I
released
think around the
something
new
about it.
year, where they gave like some statistics of like
They
most
did.
leveled up items, I think, from the game. And Cat Peach, I think, was #1. I was like, what?
Wow.
I don't know anybody that has, besides
Really?
Carlos, that has Cat Peach, leveled up.
They
But
must be loving that.
no.
What are people thinking? Oh my dear God.
Yeah.
You gonna say something, SMBros? Otherwise, there's another
not really.
there's another driver out there that's getting a lot of attention. It's this me suit with the
Chain chomp.
Yeah, there's the chain chomp, right? And then after that, at the end of that video, they showed something that a lot of people have been saying. It's Petey Piranha. What do you guys think about that? Is it Petey?
Is it?
I have a hot take on that. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm a
let's go.
huge Petey Piranha fan. I would be pretty disappointed if they brought him into the game as a me suit first and not the actual driver. But I will say, if you look at the silhouette, the teeth are very pointy teeth. Petey Piranha doesn't have super pointy teeth. He has big teeth and they're rounded. Bowser's have way more pointy teeth, like Bowser and Bowser Jr. And so my hot take, I think it's actually the long-awaited Bowser me suit, or maybe the Bowser Jr. me suit. But I think I have way more. I'd put more risk in that, or more money on that it is a Bowser me suit than it is Petey Piranha.
Wow.
But I wouldn't think so, because I played a lot of Mario Kart 8 and 8 legs, and I know the Bowser suit doesn't have any of the teeth, but instead it has that green, mohawk on the helmet.
He's got a lot more
for
hair.
Bowser Jr., I don't think there is one. Exactly.
Yeah.
More hairs and teeth.
What do you guys think?
I mean,
Anyone else think
helmet-
it's not Petey? That silhouette.
I mean, the last couple of memes that they've released, the community has been 100% wrong.
Yeah, fair
On, like it's the Pharaoh me coming out, or the British Guard me, and then it's like, oh wait, it's a chef me. Okay, like that was nobody predicted that, right? Like, and then the same thing with the chain chomp.
Sammy joked about it being ridiculous.
The same thing with the chain chomp me is like everybody was saying like, oh, it's baseball Mario or
Penguin?
something.
Oh, wow.
Like, no, everybody's wrong. It's like it's gonna be like something completely random. I don't know. And like what Firestorm said, I feel like that character is so wanted by the community, like the actual PD driver, that if they did release him as a me and not also coinciding with a release of an actual PD driver, people would be upset, and I don't think they would do that. But
I think also with the racing suit is that if you look closely at the brim, it's like the outline of Petey Piranha's lips. The shape of it.
I agree. Those do really look like his big lips that he has.
If it is Petey Piranha, I would bet he's gonna they'll introduce both of them in the same tour. That would be my guess.
And what about those flower petals on the back side of the helmet?
Well, that's the thing, is that the flowers that are around him face on look big, but from the side don't look that big, for what it's worth. So that's the argument. Now here's the thing: is even if this is a Petey Piranha me suit, we do not have any guarantee that Petey Piranha will actually ever come into the game. You guys have kind of touched on it a little bit. I don't know. To me, everyone's already being like, "Oh, I'm saving up my tickets now to invest in the real Petey Piranha that's coming in the game." And I know you're really optimistic, Firestorm. I don't know how I feel about it. I do hope that he comes into the game, kind of, just because it'd be nice to have a new character. But like the people that are like dead confident, like I saw it, Shy Guy Card, love Shy Guy Card. He said it on today, and he's like, "It's coming to the game." I'm like, wait, I just don't know if like shouting from the rooftops that he's coming to the game. I just feel like that this isn't Nintendo. This is like literally Nintendo 101 is. Nintendo will dangle something over your head and then pull it away from you before you even know it. You're crying yourself to sleep at night. So I don't know, man. Who thinks the Petey Piranha will come into the game next tour or the tour after the Bangkok? Anyone else agree with Firestorm?
If they ever were to bring in Petey Piranha, they would probably have to bring in one of the Delfino tracks, like Delfino Square for Mario Kart DS.
Delfino Square?
That would have to make perfect sense, right?
Yeah.
Delfino Wow, right?
Or a double dash track, I mean, which is highly lacking in the tour. And so
yes.
I mean,
or a Daisy Cruiser?
yeah, I don't know. I think I really do think Petey Piranha's coming to the game. I just don't know if it's going to be that next tour. I think he's arguably, I know he won Sammy's tournament. And he's probably easily probably the most, like, the biggest well-known character from Double Dash, easily. I think so. I mean, I think he'll come eventually.
And I can
And
see
it's
him
crazy that-
being, he would suit being a coinbox. I don't know. I can just see him and coinbox being big and
Yeah. Doesn't Petey have his own skill or something like that?
A Double Dash, no. King Boot and Petey Piranha don't have their own unique skills. They just get everyone else's skills. Fireballs, chain chomps, King Bat Shells, everything.
Mario Kart Deluxe,
Yeah.
there's the plant skill that kind of comes out and like attacks people when you're driving. You know,
useful skill.
so-
You don't
Yeah,
want
exactly.
you don't want that as a skill. If
Yeah.
that's no, you don't want that. But
And there
I tell you the best thing about Petey Piranha. If you ever played Mario Tennis, his arms are so big, you just stand at the net, and honestly, nobody can pass you because his arms are so big. Completely irrelevant to Mario Kart Tour, but if you want to play Mario Tennis, Petey Piranha is the guy to go with. You can't even
Follow Karim on Twitter for more Mario Tennis meta strats.
All right. So one last question about the Bangkok tour before we move on to some strategy questions. But Tim Torch asked, the opening title of the tour preview generally shows the spotlights in the first pipe. For example, Rosalina Chef with the Luigi Lederhosen, and Cat Mario and Cat Luigi. Do you think the next tour will start with a 9 spotlight pipe, the Rosalina Vacation, Luigi Vacation, and Mario Sunshine? I think we kind of already touched a little bit on the some of your really lofty goals there, BobLoblob. But what are your thoughts on this week 1 pipe?
I think it's going to go to I think it's going to be a 6 for this because I think she's going to have coinbox. I think that if she has coinbox, it's definitely going to be a 6% pipe, but I don't know. That's my guess.
I think week 2 will be a vacation pipe. That's how I feel like it'll play out.
Yeah, I think week 2 is definitely going to be the Bernie and Sunshine Mario.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think George. I think that's the way I'm leaning too. It's going to be a vacation week 2, and week 1 is just going to be like a standard regular 100 pipe. But of course, time will tell. All right, so there's been a hot topic amongst the community. Big Brolo brings this one up. I heard it today on Sammy's the grind stream about the 2 coinbox drivers on the track. both being in possession of a coin box, that does not happen. Only one person can have a single box at a time. And so there's been a strategy to avoid having other coin boxers on your track when you have a coin boxer. Specifically, the question for Big Brolo is, I have yet to see two coin box active or a combination of active and in possession with a bot having it during a race. Generally, when boomboxing, the more coin boxers in the race increases our chances of a boombox. If the first statement is true, though, then is it better to have a field where you are the only coin box driver on that track to increase the odds of a coin box? What do you guys think?
Well, I would first say, just literally a couple of days ago, I don't know if this is different. I was doing one of the tracks, Amsterdam, whatever. I had a coin box frenzy, and someone else was just firing a single box. So I don't know if that falls under your.
That can definitely happen. That can definitely happen.
That's called making it rain. when you have them right next to you, they're shooting out coins, and you have the frenzy. That does happen. That's the only way.
But that's the first time I've ever seen that. But no, I've had a lot of this. Like when watching like Carlos' stream, he will sub his lobby and he'll see, you know, if he's driving with coin box, he'll see a coin box in there, and he'll then get rid of that lobby. Yeah. I asked this. I asked, is there like any data? No, I'm not sure. I'm sorry, Studfit. I kind of didn't quite catch your question, whether it was in relation to Boomerang or coinbox.
No, just coinbox. Like, can you, in order to avoid not getting a single box, not doing races with other coinbox drivers, because they could steal your box in some scenario.
Yeah. I've asked. I literally asked this on Discord like a week ago, and that guy, the Dutch guy Racker, you know, the Boomerang master. I don't know how he does it. He was saying that he basically gets rid of. I've never thought of that until I've heard of it of recent. So if you guys know,
it seems to literally be the hottest topic in the community right now.
I thought of this a few months back, where I can't remember. It was a Meowser course where I think it was one of the Bowser castles, where there's a few other coin boxers that are middle shelf. And Meowser and Boomerang are on that track. I can't remember which variant it is, but I did notice that, if you are going for single boxes, if there's a lot of coin boxers in your race, they're going to take away from your action potential. You can still get a coin box frenzy if a bot has a single box, but you cannot get a single. The game is limited. And I think that's been data mined, that only one driver can have a single coin box, and another driver cannot get one until the coin box, single box, is completely emptied. So if a bot has a single coin box and is holding onto it behind a green shell or something like that, you'll never get a single box in the entire race.
Wow.
So for that same reason, I've actually, when I do Boombox, I know some people like see a 4 coin box lobby and they're like, that's awesome for Boombox potential. I actually think it's not as good as 2. I actually like 1 or 2 coin box. 2 is probably my number, because what happens if you have 4, which I've played, is that one of the drivers will be a 2-item coin box. Their first item would be a green shell or banana or something that they never even use their coin box or go an entire lap or something, and none of the coin boxers are getting the box at that point. So I think that meta goes also to boomboxing, but it's definitely true. And I saw Carlos was doing that when he would restart lobbies, and I was like, I had figured it out. I think around the same time Carlos was doing that, and I was like, I guess that's right. Like, and
I just want to see like video proof that all I'm doing is I'm just waiting for someone to show a video where 2 coin box bots have a single box in this, like the same in the same point.
Impossible.
Until then, I'm gonna be with you, Big Rolo. Big BobLoblob. I'm gonna be with you. I'm gonna assume that this is correct and that this is the case until someone proves me wrong. So I'm with you there. What I'm thinking about though is I have a hard time believing that I would rather have 2 coinbox driver bots than 4, because even if he's hiding it, like at least it's out there. Like somebody will have a coinbox at all times in that race.
No, and you'll get one of those coinbox noodle bots that like is in 7th place and stalls out at the start of the race, and they get the coin box, and the one that is aggressive. It can happen with 2, but it's easier to convince yourself that I need to restart. Like if there's 4 and like 2 of them are lagging behind, you don't know if a coin box is coming or if they're holding it. You can't see. Like if there's 2, you have at least one of them in front of you. You see they have a green shell, and you start targeting when they have an item to get them to lose their shield. So if they do have a coin box, they make it appear. I don't know. I think 2 is the sweet spot for Boombox, but I don't do it for a living. So
slightly tangential, but like if you have, you know, a coin box and you go through the boxes and you fire your coin box, can you then get another single?
No. So that's the other strat, is that you have to have completely emptied your coin box before you go through.
Completely emptied.
All coins are gone. So you can, just before you get to it, if the last coin has already sprayed and the box disappears, you can then get another coin box going through that item. But if you are midway through spraying, or you go through the item box and it auto starts spraying, you'll never get a coin box.
That's
2 in a row.
Interesting.
So a lot of times, like if I'm going for a high action count on a coin box track, I will maybe release the coin box in a less than optimal place on the track, just so that I have another chance of getting a single, even though it's like at the end of a glide section or something where I know some of these are impossible to collect. But
interesting. Tip Torch asks a similar kind of related question just about boomboxing. If your lobby is set up for success, meaning that you have 2 or more coinbox drivers in your lobby, you usually reset if you don't get the boombox on the first item roll. Any other tips when since boomboxing has become such a big part of the game? I know I have a boomboxing video that we'll put here as a card in the video, but I think he's asking if you don't like get a boombox off of like for instance, when do you just decide that you're going to stop using that lobby and decide, you know what, this isn't my crowd, as Sammy likes to say. I guess at what point in time do you keep going and kind of just kind of like the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting change? I mean, at what point in time do you give up?
So for me, like boomboxing, the first one is if the coinboxer stalls out and I'm watching them not be aggressive, I'm like, I'm done with this lobby. Oh well. The other one is if they're never using their coin box, which I think Nintendo has fixed, but there were some tours where they would get a coin box and drive around 2 laps on a course and never fire their coin box off, and you'd be like, what the hell is this? Like, I have a boomerang ready to go. That would be like, okay, for whatever reason, this bot is useless. But I'll drop. And then the third reason, or the third way that I'll exit a lobby is when I have 2 great coin boxers, front running, being aggressive, getting lots of single boxes, and I get to the finish line and I'm in 3rd, and I go to restart the race, but I don't get there in time, and I clear the finish line. I'm like, no, like I spent an hour setting up that lobby and I got 3rd place. Yeah, but those are the 3 where I'll reset it.
I mean, I don't have a lot of patience. I do like boomboxing, but I mean, if I'm running, for sure, like what BobLoblob said, if I see lazy coin boxers, I'm out. It doesn't even matter how many it is. It's like you got to have an aggressive coin boxer in there. But I'll give it a good 10 to 15 minutes, and if I'm just like not hitting it, because I've noticed that typically sometimes I feel like you just get in a good group that is just hitting. I mean, they're just dropping coin boxes almost every race. And it's like, then I'm just waiting to get my boomerang. So I'm like, when am I going to get my boomerang? They're hitting their coin boxes. I'm just not getting a boomerang, then I'll stick with it. Like I'll stick with that lobby for a while and try to fish out that boomerang. But if I'm just not seeing any coin boxes dropping after 10 so minutes, I just think it's worth it to just try again, reset your lobby. That's how I go about it.
It's hard at times to be patient, but it can be rewarding when it comes to boomboxing, and also perseverance is another thing too. Like when you're trying to get that run that you're looking for rank, and it's hard at times, but it is possible. And also, it depends also on the positioning of the coin box drivers. Like say if you have a coinbox driver position at the front, and then you're kind of like in fourth, fifth position, kind of in that range, it'll be easier to get to the coin box. Otherwise, if you're in the back of the pack, then the drivers in front of you will get the tokens and the coins before you can get them with the boomerang.
That's true.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think with boomboxing, I try to stay away from it. But when I do get the opportunity to boombox, I embrace it. I go full blast if I have the time. But it is tough. I do think that the people who are good at boomboxing, or the people that can keep their sanity while boomboxing, are the people that are willing to just cut their losses and say, this isn't my lobby. I got it. I'm gonna abandon this lobby, set up a new lobby. But instead of trying to keep going at it, because it is tough, you literally need every star to align. So I think it's like what you were saying, Firestorm. Like I almost one of the things I started doing was just as I'm going through my run, going through that first item block, counting how many times somebody gets coinbox, and if it's like cause like maybe I'll do it 10 times, and if that person doesn't get it like at least 4 times, I'm getting out of that lobby. Like again, all things equal, I'm going through, in the 6th spot, and they're going in, and the coin boxers in the front. Like you can just like do your own little sample size and just count like, okay, here's the first time doing it. No, they don't get coin box. Go through again. Oh, no, they don't coin box. You count that up. If it's below 40%, I just say, abandon it, because you're going to get that boomerang and they're not going to get their coin box. I don't know. Would you set it at 40%, or is that even good enough? Or would you set it a little bit lower?
40%. I would be thrilled with 40%. That to me, that's
And
very hard.
Honestly, for me, it's like the percentage of them getting it. Like sometimes there's ones that, it seems like they're getting it all the time, but the most important thing to me is that they're front running and consistently front running. So like you could maybe get away with just getting one boombox at the start of a race, but then you never see that coin boxer again, even if you're trying to stall. And it's like, that's not a great lobby. Like I'll get a score that I can use maybe, but I know I can do better. And it's like, I'll give up on that lobby too, even if they're getting coin boxes at the start a lot.
Do you guys go for double? I mean, we just had Sky Garden was at last tour, and I got a boombox and a coin, and I was very chuffed with myself. I was like, excellent, whatever it was, 173 4 actions. And then I see people posting videos of 247 actions. I'm like, I don't understand. What are you doing with your life? Like, how is this possible? It really put me in my place. It was very disheartening. I don't understand. Like,
I will say that there's, as fun as Giant Banana is, there's probably no like higher reward as Boombox when you get it, and you're like, holy crap, that was amazing. And you're just like fist pumping, like, and everybody's looking at you like, what is this grown adult man doing right now? Like,
I mean,
it's like,
I got a double boombox a few tours ago when Coconut Mall launched with Luigi, Vacation Luigi, and I got 243 actions on that one Coconut Mall, and it was like, it happened, and I just remember thinking, I'm like, this is never gonna happen again. It's so freaking hard to get a double boombox run. Like, it's just like, I just have to enjoy that this will literally never happen again. So like I'll fish if I really need a win in ranked. I'll fish for a boombox frenzy, and then maybe a single box, like a little single pickup with a boomerang, and then maybe a coin frenzy obviously on top of it. But that's normally what I cut it at. I think those people really are, I'm like, you guys are the hardcore people that are like going after double boombox runs on all your boomerang driver courses. More power to you.
Yeah, I don't personally have the time blocks
Yeah.
necessary to do that. Like I have 2 young kids, and it's like during the week when I have 15 minutes here or there, I'll start the boombox track. If I get it, I'm like, that was awesome. I'm done with this track. But most of the time, it's like the only time I like having like an hour to set aside or something where I'll give it this much time, and then I don't get it, I'll try it again the next day. But I don't know. I give up on lobbies a lot.
It is very strange. Like, so on the ER server, there's like a world record section. So you can have an ER record and the world record for action counts as long as you come first. It can be a broken combo or whatever. And I just, out of the blue, one of the Wario shipyard ones, I got the Boombox, and there's a few coins around, and it was Santa Bowser's in front of me, and I got 3 singles, and he dropped every single time, and I hold the world record for as of last I checked, and it was a complete run out of nowhere. Like, just as Firestorm was saying, I finished that and was like, what just happened? Never ever.
My life will only get worse from here.
Yeah,
it was surreal.
I had a thought about the world record for, I think it was one of the Koopa Capes. You know how you could hit the ramp and go backwards very easily on Koopa Cape?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And I was like, is it possible to get a world record action count on this map, but also have a did not finish 8th place run? I think it would be. Like, you could actually have the most actions on that track of anybody else, but you got 8th place and you didn't even finish.
Oh, jeez.
Another expert challenge that Nintendo needs to release.
Come on, get your stuff together, Nintendo. Yeah, man. Oh, man, dude. I mean, think like Boomerang. Like it's a broken Nintendo. I don't think was expecting us to be going this buck wild on these boomboxes, and that Sky Guard, and man, that's crazy. For me, that's I kind of have my own meta set up pretty systematically, where it's like, if it's coinbox, it's like, it's 1400, and if it's Boomerang or if it's Lucky 7, it's going to stay double uncapped at 1190. And so oftentimes, almost every single time I have the option of going Lucky 7 for like all cup breaking, Lucky 7 or Boomerang, I'm just going to go Lucky 7, just quickly get to 90% and move on. But there was one track last tour, I think it was, or I guess not, yeah, it might have been last tour, but the Donut Plains with Ninja. And I remember getting like a really solid boombox frenzy. Like it was Santa Bowser. It's like right there off the second item block where you're kind of landing. There's all this kind of stuff going on. Hit a bunch of people, go around next item block, a coin frenzy, and then two later a banana frenzy. And I'm like, dude, this is crazy. Like I absolutely crushed it. And I look at the action count. I'm still like 25 short. I'm like, dude, the ceiling is just so high for boombox that even if you get a boombox coin, you still might not even be close to that ceiling, because like there's a double coin box, a double boombox, a triple boombox. It's getting to the point where it's ridiculous. But it is nice knowing that that's possible, but also knowing that when you do have that, you just walk off. You're basically walking on clouds at that point.
Yeah, that was
like Yoshi's Valley, with Luigi Vacation, where they've got all the coins up on the ramps. Like, it's almost like a boombox sort of in by itself, even with a single. Yeah. So that makes it a lot more tolerable.
Yeah, I know. I think I have no Lucky 7 drivers that I've heavily invested into outside of the King Boo Misu. And I feel like that hurts me for the ACR 100, ACR 10, because what ends up happening is I have 3 boombox drivers high level or Boomerang, and it's like the time commitment to actually hit that target score that puts me right at where I think I could. I only need 90% to get ACR 100 or 93%, but I'm like, the time commitment is too much. Where in a lot of ways, I think what you said, Studfit, just invest in one is a smart strategy to go.
I mean, again, when you get to use it, you're excited to use it.
Yeah, it's
Versus
fun.
like, oh, geez, not again. Like this is, I have to like, hire an extra babysitter just to try to get this running here. Well, cool,
Yeah.
guys. We have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 12 more questions on this list that I honestly, I'm gonna save these. These are a lot of these donated by Tim Torch. Thank you so much, Tim. We will save these for next episode because we are already at our 2-hour mark. It's been a blast hanging out with you guys. You've been awesome guests. You've taken every question and literally uncovered every single angle. So it's been wonderful having you guys. So the way that we typically wrap up Car Talk is think about a player that just started maybe a couple months ago. What recommendation would you have to them that might be able to help them get caught up to speed? And we've heard a lot of answers. Don't worry about overlapping with other answers. You don't have to, give this earth-shattering, never heard before type of idea. But if you do, that's great too. But anyway, what recommendation would you have to a newer player? We'll start in reverse order of how I introduce you guys. So SMBros, if you were talking to a newer player who might have started in the last couple months, what recommendations would you have for them? And as well as also say your goodbyes to all your fans.
Well, let's see. For someone who just started, I would be going with let's say if they, I'm just someone like coinbox and Boomerang, I would definitely say them. Out of that, just save up with rubies and try to go for the tokens and anything else important that you might think of.
Save up those rubies, pulling it. Yep, I'm with you. The token pipe, great strategies there. Well, thank you for coming on, SMBros. I know connection wasn't always perfect, but I appreciate you sticking through it. You triumphed. I appreciate that, man. That's wonderful. JacktheDarkBlueYoshi, what recommendations would you have to a newer player? And say goodbye to all your fans. And if they'd like to hear more, definitely check out Jack the Dark Blue Yoshi on YouTube.
The main thing I would say is to have fun. It's remember, it's just a game. It's not going to be perfect, but the key thing is to have fun and also to use your investments wisely when it comes to rank each tour, and also I do other content as well along with Mario Kart Tour, and I really thank you all so much for your support, and I look forward to continue the journey with you all. And I thank you, Studfit, for having me on too.
Absolutely, man. It's been a long time coming. I'm glad it worked out this time. BobLoblob, appreciate you. I know that you just spontaneously were able to join on. I know you weren't sure if you were going to be able to. I'm so glad you did. You brought a lot of good hot takes. Appreciate you coming on. What recommendations would you have to a new player? And say goodbye to your new fans.
I think recommendations are don't spend all your rubies as soon as you get them. Save them up a little bit and don't worry too much about the high scores that you see other people posting, and just learn how to drive and play the game and have fun. I think is the most important thing.
I like it. I saw Firestorm. You were smiling there when when he was saying saving up the rubies. That one's tough, huh? What would you like to say to your fans, and what recommendations would you have to a new player? Firestorm.
Yeah, I mean, I was smiling about recommendations just because saving rubies, yeah, for sure. I think saving rubies, it's hard, but I would tell a new player, save your rubies until an anniversary, like either a half anniversary or a full, because they just drop these insane pipes where you can do mass catch up. So if you save your rubies, it's so hard, but if you save them for like 6, 7, 8 tours and you hit one of those anniversaries sitting on like 900 rubies, some crazy amount that you've saved up over a really long time. I mean, I think that's the big thing I would tell people. I would challenge new players. It's just wait till one of those massive catch-up pipes where you can just get a ton of stuff and really put your rubies to good use. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Stud, thanks for having me on. I mean, this is great. I've been watching for a long time. It's fun to just be on here with you guys, chatting about just a game that we all love. Like, I just love to play, and just it's just cool to be a part of the community. Cool to just meet awesome people. You guys are all great, and it's been a blast. So thanks again.
Awesome, man. Glad you were able to join. It's been, again, a long time coming for a lot of you guys. Appreciate that. And then Kareem, welcome back. Hopefully this was just as fun as it was. It was like riding a bike, right?
Absolutely. It's been an absolute joy. It's been a pleasure seeing meeting people. Obviously, I've seen Firestorm a whole bunch on videos, especially on Frenzy fans. JacktheDarkBlueYoshi goes without saying. BobLoblob, his name, I definitely seen around, and I'm very grateful to have met him. As to SMBros. What the advice I would give to begin would be actually player levels probably quite important at the beginning. Try and get to 150. That does take time, but I think that's actually quite important for beginners. Manual drifting. I know there's a lot of people who don't do that when they start. It's a bit awkward. I think that needs to be done. That's quite an important thing. I would personally say, and I would say, yeah, just as Firestorm said, like, save up for the good pipes, and coinbox is king. You know, if you can, maybe delve in for another plus, but just go for coinboxes essentially, and everything else will kind of coalesce around it, in my opinion.
Yeah, Coinbox is king. I think if you invest in Coinbox, you will not be led astray. You will never regret investing in a Coinbox, except for maybe Pauline Party Time. Anyway, I think my recommendations for a new player is use this tour to grind player level. Like, that should be the #1 priority, because who knows when these tracks will come back. I know there's some speculation that this might be a turning point in the history of the game. But I just think you have to walk away with 10+ levels. I think if you don't, and because of life and stuff, I get it, I completely understand. But, like, you know, these are tracks that will ease the EXP from the player level. May never come back again, or if they do, it might be years in advance. It would be much better to focus your time there than even worrying too much about ranked or all cup ranking or anything else. It should be the #1 priority, at least for this tour. That would be my recommendation. But again, always let life take over if there's more important and pressing needs. So thank you guys all for joining. Thank you all for watching at home. What a wonderful episode. We're coming up on 1 full year of doing this fun. I would have never guessed I would have been doing this for a year, but it's been an absolute blast enjoying this the last 2 hours with you guys. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in Bangkok, in Thailand. See you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.